friends, welcome back to Making Creative Memories in Time. I'm Kim and I am continuing to work right along with my maternity album, and I'm doing 2 pages that are not related, that were taken around the same time. And so these first 3 photos are some pictures that Ashley's husband snapped from their app, and this is showing like just a virtual look at what the baby would have looked like at 13 weeks while she was at week 13, and comparing the fetus to the size of a lemon, telling what the baby weighed. It was 2.6 inches long, 2.6 ounces, and that the kidneys were starting to develop. And so we're just tracking this on Maternity Album all along. And then on the opposite page, which is going to somewhat match, is a photo that was taken the same week when I picked up Ashley her first pack and play. And I laughed. I got a super great deal on this brand new pack and play. And she said, but we may already have one. I said, trust me, you're going to need multiple pack and plays. You'll need one. Your mom and dad will need one. Brantley's mom and dad will need one. So I picked up, this was her first big gift that she got. So let's get started. So we're at the point in our album now that we know we are having a boy. So previously in the album, we were using all the girly pages of this paper, right? This paper collection. And now we are moving forward with the boy pages. So I am going to get this stuff cleared off, put this on fast speed, and we'll get started on this double page layout. And here you will see me pull out the large circle from the custom cutting system, and I just flip my mat over since my white cardstock is already attached, and I'm pulling out the blue blade. The blue blade cuts farther away to increase the size of the circle. These products will be linked below: the mat, the large circle cutting system, as well as the blades. And so I absolutely love how easy this is to cut this circle. And I am just going to get these things put away so I don't cut myself. And then you will see me pull in my scissors, and I am using the closed edge of my scissors to distress just around the circle. I want a little bit of a distressed look on this circle because I feel like it will just add something to the page. This circle is rather large, and that's just a touch I wanted to add. A little tip when you are using scissors to distress any type of paper, always work with them closed unless you're working with an extremely dull pair of scissors, because you don't want to cut yourself or make gashes and cuts into the paper. You can also use your fingernail or a file to get this effect. So here you're going to see me use my guide to make sure I'm going to be cutting straight down one of these lines. And basically what I do is cut that circle in two, and then I will, using my Creative Memories Repositionable tape runner, which will be linked below, I am starting to adhere this circle element to both pages, and I basically just eyeball where it's center top to bottom, just to ensure that I like where that's landing on the page. And now I am going to start deciding which of these patterns are going to be larger on the paper, which of these patterns are going to be smaller on the paper. And then I'm using pre-cut, just scrap already cut into pieces of paper from this collection. And this is not going to be symmetrical. The only thing that is symmetrical on this page is the circle. The other pieces I'm going to be cutting, as you can see with that charcoal piece of wood grain, they're not going to be the same length on both sides of the paper. There's heavier photo placement on the left and less heavy elements on the right. And so I'm good with the left side having longer pieces of paper and the right side having shorter pieces of paper. And so I've cut that charcoal paper that has that beautiful New England ivy fern in it. And then now you just see me cutting, it's sort of blue and it's like a woodland. I just think of woodland. It's got little ferns and mushrooms and grasshoppers and little woodland critters in it. So I love that paper. And then I'm just going to sort of fidget around a little bit, just to make sure that I'm going to like that layout with the dark, the light, and then the dark. And then here I'm going to just dry fit the photos. They're already matted on white cardstock. And then I am going to decide, what do I want behind it? Do I want that charcoal gray, or do I want New England ivy? And here I opt for rosemary, which is a softer green, and I didn't want so much in your face green. And so I am trimming down rosemary, and I do believe I use the light side of rosemary. And we are going to get these photos matted with that. And I like to do just a 1/4 inch larger. That way you have an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. But one of my signature moves is always to include a white matte straight behind the photo, directly behind the photo. I feel like having a white matte behind the photo really helps your photo to pop off the page. And so you're just going to see me fidget here for just a minute, getting that rosemary green matte cut for all of these photos. And then now I'm working on that photo that came from the app, which I absolutely love, by the way. I think it is so amazing that these apps provide all of these things for us, right? So that we can compare the size of the baby and how much the baby weighs and how long the baby is getting each week of your pregnancy. And then I look at what those photos look like on that green plaid circle, and I'm not happy. So I am pulling out some Harbor cardstock, and these photos are all going to be double matted. They're going to be on rosemary and then Harbor. And just look at that. Would you look at that first photo I just put down? Look at the contrast that just adding that Harbor matte makes between the plaid paper and the photo. I love it. And up close and in person, you will see that the green looks really pretty too. And there I ran out of adhesive, and I decided to leave that in just because I wanted to show how easy it is to refill our repositionable tape runners. And I am almost finished getting all of the photos double matted here. Very happy with how that process is looking. And now I am going to start dovetailing the ends on all of these strips that's going to go behind the circle. I don't want to really deep dovetail on these, and so when I cut the first one and I like what that looks like, you're going to see me pull in the papers from the other side, and I'm going to use on the right side those strips as just a template to make all of the dovetails on the left page. And that's just something I like to do when I want to ensure that it's going to be even. And all I basically do is cut the depth, repeat the depth from the pattern, and then go in and actually cut the dovetails. And I really like the way the dovetail looks with this large circle. And even though these two sets of photos are not related, these two pages are going to be side by side in the maternity album, and I just wanted a cohesive feel for these. So I'm really liking how this is coming together at this point. And now you're going to watch me fuss around just a little bit with placement. I pull in my ruler just to make sure that I'm not tipping leaning downward. I tend to do that, and a little bit later in the video you're going to see I opted not to use the ruler and a very key element to the page did sort of dip downward just a little, but that's okay. It's progress, not perfection, right? And then I am going to move up to this larger piece of paper. And all I'm doing here is just putting on some adhesive and making sure that all of the flat square edges are tucked up under that circle. And this is a great layout that uses up scraps minus the large circle, because all of these other pieces of paper that I cut were pieces that were just already in the package in different widths. And then I could have technically trimmed some of that length off, but I literally have so much of this paper that I did not need to conserve, and so I just tucked it right under. Here again, I'm using that ruler, and you will see that as these two pages come together, some of it does look symmetrical and some of it does not, and that's okay. I wanted it that way. As long as the two halves of circle were symmetrical, I was okay. Everything else, my patterns align across the page to sort of replicate some type of symmetry. But if you notice, I did not measure. I did not measure what the length was here, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Because again, when you see the photo placement here, it's photo heavy on the left. And I felt like I needed longer pieces to still make it cohesive across the double page layout, even though it's photo heavy on the left. And so I'm just attaching the photos down, getting happy with the placement here. I choose to center that large photo between the two 3x4s. And then here I'm just trying to center the photo on the right page between the height of the photos on the left page. And then I'm going to pull out the pocket cards and just flip through these until I find something that I like for a journaling spot. And I almost feel like this cute little card is what I want. But then the blue was really too blue. It wasn't the glacier blue. And I just kept looking. And here I find that green one with a little scalloped edge. And I think that's just perfect. And so that's what we're going to choose for our journaling card. And here we are starting to go through the stickers. Now, the reason I have so much of this paper and so many of these stickers is back when this paper collection came out, I think in 2020 or 2021, I did a big workshop with this, and all of this that I'm working with on this maternity album is all leftovers. And so I'm excited to still have these leftovers. Here I am adhering the mat for journaling, and I am going to start building a little cluster at the top of that mat using these stickers. And anytime I want to put foam on a sticker, I always like to use my anti-static powder pouch just to make sure that the stickiness is gone, so that when it does go in an album, if it gets heavy, I don't have to worry about that collapsing and crushing down. So that's just something I always like to do. And you're just going to see me here fuss around just a little with placement of these stickers. And then I'm going to start building my little cluster element over on the left page. And you're going to see me pull my sticker pack back out. You notice I use scarlet flowers in that cluster element on the top of the journal box. I did that because it's hard to tell with my studio lights, but the background on that picture of the baby is very red, and I wanted to pull that red across the page. But then I think, no, I'm going to need some more scarlet over here to offset that red to help balance that out. And so you're going to see me pull that little mushroom sticker, which is adorable. And I am going to use the powder pouch again just to remove the sticky, and you'll see me put some foam on that because I love different layers in my clusters. Love different layers in my clusters, and I just feel like it adds dimension and depth and detail to your page. And so there I'm going to put those little mushrooms down, and then I pull in a little sticker that is charcoal. And I think that says grow, because obviously that's what that page is about, is documenting the growth of this precious little baby in my niece's tummy. Here is where you're going to see me go downhill. I should have pulled my ruler in and drawn a fine pencil mark so that as I'm stamping my title, and this title is going to say 13 weeks. I did not. I was sitting down and not standing directly above my page. And so it's not obvious until it's completely finished. But this does dip just a little. But I'm okay with that. It's progress, not perfection. Correct? And this is just an alphabet stamp set from my stash. And I am using charcoal ink. And again, it's going to say 13 weeks. And so I have that stamped, and now we're going to pull in our stickers that say 13. And then I am going to fuss around and decide which color blue enamel dots I want to use. Here I'm doing like a light blue, and I decide, nope, I want glacier. So I go back to the embellishment drawer, and I find, I think these were called Cake Day embellishments, and glacier was one of those colors. And so here I'm just fussing around. I want to move that, but it's stuck to the paper, so we're just going to go with it. I'm going to add 3 little enamel dots in a couple places around each of the embellishment clusters. And then I will come back and add some down around the title element. And I get really happy with that. And I think, okay, my page is complete. And I stand back, I look at the page, and it's just missing something. And so, although the remainder of the album so far does not have any type of shimmer, I decide I'm going to pull in the charcoal shimmer brush, and I am just using, actually that is the plastic bag that the pocket cards came in, and I'm just using that as my mat to put down some shimmer brush. And there you have it, friends. We had to just sprinkle a little bit of Harbor shimmer brush right on those edges. I'm going to let that dry before I take it off. So I'm just going to hold it up for you so that you can see. I love this. I love this. I debated back and forth about my title, and I'm really glad I stuck with the charcoal. I really feel like the charcoal pulls, like Harbor would have been too dark. And then there's some more shimmer brush. So hopefully you guys like this. Give it a like and be sure to subscribe for more. Happy scrapping.